CGCP 2066. A rather unusual position. Both sides have 2 queens, but black has 3 rooks. Black is also quite a bit ahead in material. Now, given that the white queen on f3 is under attack by the black rook, maybe the best move here is bishop captures rook. But this would be a mistake, because black will then play knight to e3, discovered check. If queen captures queen, rook captures queen with check. If king to d2, then rook to c2 mate. So how about rook to c3? Well, then rook captures c3, pawn captures c3, and after queen captures c3, white is going to be checkmated. So bishop captures rook does not work. What about a direct exchange of queens? Well, here black needs to be careful. He can't play queen captures c6, because then queen to f8 check, king to h5, queen to f5 check, and then the king moves back to h6. And if rook on the h file to g7, then queen to h8 check, rook h7, queen to f8 check, and this is basically a perpetual check. Now king to h4 doesn't work, because then bishop captures rook, rook captures bishop, rook h1 check, with mate to follow. So what black needs to do in this position is capture the other queen. You see, when you're down in material, you try to hang on to as much as you can. If you exchange off the pieces, you're going to be left with less and your opponent has more, which makes it easier for your opponent to win. So in this position, even after queen captures c2, we have rook captures d3, and white really is losing. And if here bishop captures g3, that would be a mistake, because rook captures c6. So let's take a look at the analysis about how white can actually win here without relying on black making any mistake. So the correct move, the only one that wins because everything else loses, is queen on the 5th rank to h5 check. After king to g7, queen to e5 check. Now here, if the king moves back to h6, well then queen on the f file to h5 is mate. So black cannot play that. So black might try, if rook to f6, well then as you can see there's a mate to follow. Queen to e7, king to h6, queen on the e file captures f6, queen captures f6, queen captures f6, rook to g6, bishop to f4, knight captures f4, queen captures f4, king to g7, rook captures g6, king captures g6, rook to g3, and there we go, mate will follow. So queen moves to f6, and here the queen on the f file, which is currently being attacked by the rook on g3, captures this queen check, the rook captures, and here the rook on d3 captures the one on g3 with check. King to f7, black is now on the run, rook to c3, and then if knight to b4, rook to c7 check, queen captures, king to e6, queen to d6, defended by the bishop on h2, and as you can see, mate will follow soon. Interestingly, in this position, if rook captures c8, knight to d3 check causes white to lose quite a bit of the advantage that he had. And here, if knight to e1, well then we have the same thing, rook to c7 check. And if queen captures c3, maybe knight on the c file to e3, bishop to e5. If the rook tries to move away to h6, well then queen to b3 check, and both diagonals are controlled by white. On the other hand, if rook to h4, then king to b1, rook to e6, queen to b3, pinning the rook. Now white could also capture the rook on f6, but then rook to c4, if bishop g5, maybe king to f8, king to d2, and white is still winning here because rook captures queen, pawn captures rook, and you can see white now has favorable material. So at this point, after rook to c3, black is basically lost. White still has to play carefully because a lot of pieces are hanging, so to speak, but there's no way for black to win or even to draw if white plays properly. Hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time.